Hey, what's up, Town Hall 11? Welcome to the episode that will totally change your Clash life. This is the Witch BoBat attack, one of the best out there for Town Hall 11. Once our Town Hall 11 and Town Hall 12 started using that attack, look at this green warlock. We just don't know how to lose anymore unless it's an extremely unbalanced war. But in general, it's too hard to lose once you know that. I would still argue that there's still lots of top strategies out there, like Laloons. But how many of us can actually master Laloons? It's easy for me, but a lot of people struggle with it. So as a clan leader, I had to look for an attack that will work for even your most crappy players, sorry to say that, and be able to execute in 3 stars their mirrors. And here we're at war right now, and look at how some of our small guys, the Town Hall 11, do with this attack. This is the army composition. Pause the screen if you need to, but notice that on the very right, we've requested 2 max bats. Bat spells are extremely important. And with this attack, you want to head for the eagle. You want to destroy that as your first priority, and as many multi and whiz towers as you can along the way. So we identify that on the map. So here's 1 layer of giants, and then followed by 1 layer of witches, and then 1 layer of bowlers. It's that simple. You want to spread them as wide as possible so that they would self-funnel back towards where your wall wrecker is right now. So it's pretty brainless. That's why it makes this attack a number 1, because it's so easy. As a clan leader, you should be promoting this to all your Town Hall 11 and 12. So notice that this guy actually used a very early Grand Warden because he wants to make sure that this wall wrecker will get to the eagle. That's the most important part of the first attack. And it looks like he did not make it. That wall wrecker did not make it. But that's not the end of the world. Let's see what happens. But generally, with this attack, you want to make sure that the first half, using your wall wrecker, you will get your army to reach that eagle before you launch your bat. And along the way, you want to get as many multi-infernos and whiz towers as much as possible, because they are the biggest threats to your bats. So looking at the screen here right now, he has just dropped his bat, so he needs to freeze that multi. So he dropped it close enough so that the next target would be the eagle. So freeze the eagle and that whiz tower so that we get the eagle. And there you go. We got the eagle, we got that first multi, and we just destroyed that whiz towers. Now with the eagle, with the whiz towers, with the multi-infernos, your bats will probably just be able to finish the game all by themselves. They are still afraid of tornado traps, but the good news is that they do not trigger traps. So you still want to be careful with that, but in general, this is pretty much a win. So it's cleanup time. I'm just going to speed this up. But guys, this is a really brainless attack. That's what makes it one of the number 1 strategy, because it's so easy to master. It took me a few tries to actually master this attack. In this same current war that we already perfected, let's see how we did again using this same Witch BoBat strategy. Identify the main threats. 1 layer of giants, 1 layer of witches. And before we continue, make sure that you're subscribed to CS Clash on YouTube and following CS Clash on Facebook. And then 1 wide layer of bowlers. Then drop the rest with your wall wrecker. It is that simple. You want to make sure that your wall wrecker is going towards that eagle. It is just that simple. Notice that his giants, witches, bowlers, he didn't drop them all yet. But you can. Just drop them all at the beginning. He's waiting for the wall wrecker to open a little bit up before dropping the rest. You can do that, but just drop them at the beginning. It won't make too much of a difference if you spread them wide enough. He uses Grand Warden ability early enough because he wanted to protect the clan, he wanted to protect that wall wrecker to make sure that he gets those opening up the wall to get to that eagle, and that is very essential for the first part of this attack. And looks like he made it. So make sure you do that. Always make sure you will get the eagle before you launch your bats. That is the number 1 criteria. And once you get that, and you want to take as many multis and as many whiz towers as you can along the way, then it's pretty much good for the first part. Just launch the bats here, and you have 4 freezes. You want to freeze all your multis and all your whiz towers as your bats fly by them so that they don't get wiped out at once. But look at this. No more multis, no more eagle, no more whiz towers. You have pretty much won the game. And a quick tip here, look at how long it takes to break that storage using bats, because bats are nerfed against storages. So if you have cleanup crew, make sure that you prioritize them on storages, not distant buildings that are not storages. Here's an easy one. So let's go back to our war and look at the other one. So see, all these guys are using the same attack to perfect this war. Identify the big threats. So it's obvious that we will go from the top, so we will get that eagle. We will get that eagle using our wall wrecker, opening up the walls. So in this example here, he's actually put down everything. One layer of giants and then witches and then bowlers, all of them at once. Like I told you earlier, you can do that, or you can wait for the wall wrecker to open a little bit up first. It usually doesn't matter too much. In this case, I do not agree with him using that Grand Warden's ability so early, since we've already reached the clan castle. Sorry, we've already reached the eagle, so there's no point to use that Grand Warden there. It's a bit of a waste. However, with this attack, things are pretty easy. We've already dropped our spells, our bat spells, and look at that, which is gonna conquer everything. And you save your freezes at the moment where your whiz towers might hit you, or your multis. So that was a little bit too early, so you have to drop another one. Personally, with triple expos, I would drop another one there, but that's a personal preference. He's going on the safe side, doing another one on the whiz tower. That was also unnecessary, but he's got no more places to use those freezes anyway. Might as well do it. Oh, and I apologize here. I just noticed that he just newly upgraded to Tunnel 12, so he's not Tunnel 11. So he has a max bass spells that he prioritized on in his upgrades, which is a good move. But the execution is about the same thing. So we'll mention that the next few attacks to your truly Town Hall 11 at war using this attack, and just easy wins. And if you're not the clan leader, you should show this to your clan leader and make sure all of your Tunnel 11, 12 start using this, because it's so simple, you'll have amazing war. Next base, Town Hall 11 for sure. Identify your main threats and just do the usual. A layer of giants, and then a layer of witches, and then a layer of bowlers, widely spread out. He didn't drop all of them, but you can. Don't worry about it. He plans to drop the rest once he breaks the walls, which is also a smart move. I do that sometimes. This is pretty much optional. Trust me, this is absolutely optional. And this clanmate of mine, Jay, he never really used this until very recently. I've been telling him that for almost a year to use that. He never listened to me. He does all his things, but he has trouble 3-starring his mirrors. And after using this recently, it's become so easy. And I wish the same for you, and I guarantee that. So again, first part is done. We got the eagle, okay? Not only that, we got the tornado traps. So, let's get the CC as well. But so at this point, it's very safe for our bats to start flying around. We have 4 freezes. Again, those 4 freezes are mainly for your whiz towers and the multi-infernos. Are there any left? So there are 3 left, so let's get that. Oh, also, you want your bats to not split at the beginning. The way he dropped them very far away did not help. It make them split, it's not a good. In this case, it didn't make much of a difference, but you want to keep them together because freeze management, it's much easier if they're together. Bats are so quick anyway, and they're the strongest when they're big and fat together at the beginning. As early as possible, get them big and fat. Avoid split. He split it a few times, and look how weak that bunch became. He also had no more freezes, but there's still 1 more whiz tower, so it's not looking good. And that's what I'm saying. He is absolutely new to this attack, but it's still much easier for him compared to all the other killer attack like Laloons, right? And he still ended up 3-starring this attack because with this strategy, it's not just about the bat. You still have your ground troop. The ground troop actually did a lot at the beginning. And there's really only 2 defenses left, and now only 1, only the archer tower left. So the remaining here right now, it's all about cleanup. Typically with this attack, you don't need to have cleanup crew because the bats are actually very fast and they pretty much one-shot one building very easily. Even if they split, they can pretty much one-shot any building except storages in your town hall. And like I told you earlier, because storages bats are nerfed against storages. That means they don't deal as much damage on storages. And that's why you want to prioritize your cleanup crew or your other units on those storages while your bats do other stuff. And let's take a look at another attack here. Okay, let's identify the main threats. Again, it's the same thing. It's so brainless, right? You drop all your giants, and then I'll drop all your witches, and then drop all your bowlers, and then you launch everything. You launch the ice golem, you launch that wall wrecker, and everybody will follow that wall wrecker. We'll get that eagle, and then you start batting around, flying around with the coronavirus, and you use freezes on the multis and on the Wiz towers if there are any other left. And in case that you feel like you have a surplus of freezes, what should you use your freeze on? I would like to use them on double expos because they're pretty good. Or when they're double or triple or quadruple Teslas, that's a good area when you want to use your extra freezes. 2 more tips for you for this attack. Look at the top right Wiz towers right now. So typically, I would not waste a freeze on that. I would save a giant for that. So while the Wiz tower is hitting your giant, you can use your bats to kill that off because freezes are very valuable. So we've dropped all our bats spells here, and there's pretty much no multis left, no Wiz towers left because the ground troop did a really good job. Good job, Jay. So he will probably be using his freezes on random stuff right now. Okay. The other tip I want to tell you that with this attack, you don't worry too much about the CC. You will trigger it along the way with the wall wrecker and all of that. But you know, you have so many witches, you also have your queen with you, so any air would just die pretty instantly, just like in the last few attacks. That dragon just died instantly. There are just so many distractions from the skellies, and then from the witches, and then from the queen. You would not worry too much about the clan castle troops. Guys, I hope you're convinced that this is an OP attack, super easy to implement. Make sure all your Town Hall 11 and 12 are using that for a green warlog. A link for the Town Hall 12 version is at the description. Please hit that like button, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook. CS Clash. I'll see you next time.